Hello, CAD students. Mr. Erickson here. I'm back for the third part of week 1, assignment 2, creating a dimension style. In this one, we are going to dimension the elevation. All right, so in part 2, we created the dimension style, and in this one, we're going to actually dimension it so that it looks like the way it looks in the book. This is the image of it in the book. So we're gonna add these actual dimensions so that it looks like this. All right, so we created the dimension style last exercise. We need to make sure that that's the active one. If we're on the annotate tab up here, click on the drop down, we look, see it says week 1, assignment 2. That's the one we created. This is an annotative dimension style, so it depends on this annotation scale here in model space. That's a really important part of annotative objects. I've already preset it to 1/4 of an inch equals 1 foot. So if it's not 1/4 of an inch equals a foot, you should click on it. A list of different scales will pop up, and just select 1/4 inch equals a foot before you start dimensioning. These two little symbols here should be blue like that. And then so if you have that like that, you're ready to go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the most basic dimensions. We're going to do the linear dimensions. Linear dimension is the most common dimension used in architectural drafting. It just is a horizontal or a vertical dimension. So it's the most common one. Start the command and just click on it, the button here. I need to make sure my snaps are on, and if they're not turned on, I can hit the F3 key, but in this case mine are turned on, so I'm doing this one on the bottom here. I'm going to click on this button, that endpoint there, and then click on this endpoint and come straight down. All right, there. So there's our first dimension, 16'6". So that looks about right. I'm going to click on linear again. I got to make sure that I have to be accurate about this, so it's important that you zoom in to make sure you're getting the right point. It's very easy to grab the wrong point, especially when you have this gap here. Sometimes you'll grab the extension line of the dimension, or you might have lines that overlap, so you need to make sure you're very accurate here. So I see that endpoint snap. I can click, zoom out a little bit, go all the way up to the top to where it intersects, click there, and drag out to the left a little bit and click. Now, secret to do the next one is to click on this dimension, hover over the grip right here, don't click, just hover, and then come down and select continue. It'll continue that string of dimensions. So click on that, and then I can go up and click the top there. That'll be my last one. Now I'm done, so I hit escape. That gets me out of the command, and I'm done with that string. I have the windows to do, so I'm going to do the windows real quick. So I'm going to do the horizontal and the vertical. On the bottom, I have the horizontal. Come straight down, click on the linear button. Click, make sure I zoom in, get that endpoint correctly. Click there, come out, try to place it similar to what it looks like in the image. So about right there, click. I can, now to go back into the command, I can click on the button, but one shortcut is to hit the space bar. If you hit space bar, it takes you right back into the last command that you were in. So I'm just going to hit the space bar, and that'll start the command again. Click this point, click that point, and I want it to align with this one. So I'm going to click on this one, and it will align the two. So now you can see that dimension line and that dimension line are aligned together. If I draw a line from there to there, you can see that line goes through both of those dimension lines, so they're in alignment. I'm going to do linear again. Click that endpoint, zoom in, make sure I grab that one, click that, come straight down. Alright, oh, there's a problem there. My dimensions aren't correct, so I need to stretch this out. I need an inch on each side, so I'm going to use the stretch command. Click S for stretch, do a right to left selection starting here, so click there, come straight down. I grabbed all of that, click there, space bar for enter, then click anywhere, start going this direction, type 1, enter. Do the same thing on the other side, so click S for stretch, enter. Click right here, which is above this line, that's right in the, so it's right in the middle, but I'm going up and above. Click, come from a right to left selection, come down below the dimension line, but above the window below. So everywhere that that selection window is touching, everywhere it's cutting through the window and through the dimension, those are the objects that are going to get stretched. So I click, it's asking me to select objects. I'm done selecting objects, so I hit enter. Asking me for the base point, I can click anywhere I want. Click there to show it which way to go. To the left, just make sure, I'm just trying to stay away from snaps. I don't want it to snap because that'll mess me up. So I'm keeping it away from snaps. Type in 1, enter. And right there we go. So, alright, so now I've got that straightened out. It happens. I mean, you just got to be able to, you'll learn to use your modify tools as you go along. And it's, like I said earlier in the first demonstration, it's important to double check your dimensions as you're going. And if you don't, sometimes that's what will happen. All right. So what we have here, this dimension, this type of dimension here, this isn't a linear dimension. Remember, linear or horizontal or vertical. This one is called an aligned dimension, because it's aligning with this line. It's parallel. This dimension line is parallel with that line. So to start that type, I can click on my little drop down here. It's right next to where it says linear. Just click on the little drop down. There's the align. That's the second one in the list. So I come over here, click on that button, that point, endpoint, click on this endpoint, bring it up a little bit so it looks about right, and then click. The last one we have is the radius. So again, I'm going to click on the little drop down arrow next to the aligned button, and I'm going to choose radius. Click on the arc that we created, drag out so it kind of looks the way it is in the picture, and verify that it's the right dimensions. Yep, radius 3 foot 1 1/2. That's correct. Alright, so what it did was it added a center mark, which is okay. If it does that, just leave it. But it's right there. If I wanted to remove it, I could click on the dimension, right click, go to properties, and then look for my center mark and turn it to none. So that turns it off for that one dimension, which is more correct the way it looks in the image. The last little part is to add that slope angle right there. So I'm just going to draw a line like that. Go up 9 inches over 12 inches. And then I'm going to move it. That's the correct proportions. Scale it a little bit. Use the scale, SC. Click right here and then just type in 1.5, which will double it. And then I'll add a text object. So multi-line text, click here, draw a box. I'm using that sans serif annotative text. I'll type 12, move, put it right there, copy it, CO, grab it, move it over here, double click on it to open it up, select it, 9, move it over a little bit so it's, alright. So I'll move the whole thing, grab the lines and the text. So, alright, so that's about right. Alright, so that's it. That concludes this exercise. So this is what you would save and you would submit in Canvas for this exercise.